All right, Job chapter 35, let's call this one Elihu responds. God's replies are higher in this chapter, where he seems to pick up from where he left off in the last chapter, once again asking, is Job right to contend? How am I any better off than if I had sinned? Elihu is going to notice, though, God is higher than the clouds or the heavens that are above us. And so if you act wickedly or if you act righteously, you're not actually touching him or reaching him. You are actually doing that to either your benefit or your own detriment, or maybe even the detriment of the benefit of those in your sphere of influence. However, we live in an environment where people often call out to God in their time of need, but much less often seem to look to God for his counsel before they get to times of adversity. And that's not necessarily to criticize Job, who had a reputation for seeking God, but it is to say this: how many prayers or pleas to God go unanswered because they are rooted either in pride or an empty self-interest? How much less than Job would God be willing to hear a prayer or a plea that you offer up as if he owes you an answer? And so the takeaways from this relatively short chapter might be relatively simple. First and foremost, drawing on something we've observed before: when people call you for help, are you more likely to respond favorably to people who simply call when they continually get themselves in trouble, but you never hear from them in the meantime? Or are you more likely to respond favorably to people who are willing to listen to the counter counsel that can keep them out of trouble in the first place? And if you understand that you're probably more likely to respond favorably to people who are willing to listen so they don't have to keep calling back to get bailed out, then understand how God may have that same perspective on our pleas. And so to the degree we can maintain a healthy relationship seeking his counsel before we get into trouble, understand how he may be more likely to respond favorably to our requests when we fall into difficult times. And moreover, even if we have established what might be called a healthy relationship with him, we do well to remember that he does not owe us anything, not even an answer. And so to the degree that Jesus summed up the greatest commandments in love God and love people, he might also have been giving us practical guidance in understanding that the way we approach people, meaning the degree to which we understand that people don't owe us anything, and so our respect for people in requesting things from them might reflect the ways in which we improve our lines of communication with God, who likewise doesn't owe us a thing.